Hey everyone, it's Nicole, the Blind Maid, sharing a bit of magic with the world, and today we're doing another book tide. This book tide is called Tea and Book Lovers Tide, and Lauren created it based off the coffee book tide from Brian's bookshelf. Since I don't drink coffee, and I think it's disgusting, she created this tide for me so I'd be included.
Coffee better.
No, it's not.
Leave a comment down below if you think coffee or tea is better.
Or hot chocolate.
Ooh.
So the first tea is Matcha, which I really like adding that to my teas. It is like a little earthy flavor. And the question is, best high fantasy novel story. And I had to ask Lauren because I'm a little gray on what is fantasy high versus urban fantasy. And from how she explained it, I would have to say the Wizard's First Rule, which is part of the Sword of Truth series.
Oh.
I actually read the entire series and I love their display of magic and how to use different creatures based off of other fantasy novels. And the fact that the main hero, yes, he's with a sword, but he went anywhere without the girls. It's like, yay, girl power.
Oh, and Lord Sif.
Yes. Sadly, they're not shown until book 5.
What?
But here's the thing though. They kind of take over the rest of the book series when they introduce. So Taylor ends up becoming more of a secondary back character and they take the main role. Like you're seeing a book or two where Richard's in the back character too though.
That would probably be my favorite book then. I'm thinking about giving the book another chance.
You should. I mean, I know you're hesitant to do like that fit.
Ugh.
But
Don't remind me.
they are on the Read to Do app. The next tea is Herbal. And the question for that is beautiful imagery. Now, I saw this question being answered 2 different ways. One is when you read a book and you're reading the description or narrator and the scenery is created from it. And when I read that, I thought of The Sea of Trolls by Nancy Farmer because you're able to picture the landscape of where they're from, which I think is Norway at the time. Another way you should do it is what words best create an image in your head while you're reading. And for that, that'd be poetry, and we have to go with my favorite poet, Edgar Allan Poe. Now, Lauren's trying to be snarky, she's like, you teach your poetry books. And, I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, Shadow Abyss does have a couple imagery poems in them.
And a lot of your poems are inspired by Poe.
Yep.
So, favorite poem by Poe and favorite poem in your book.
Oh, God. I think my favorite poem by Poe would have to be The Bells and Annabelle Lee. They're tied. And then the favorite poem from my book would... I'd say it would be Marionette or The Messenger.
Oh, God.
No. Probably Soul Armor. I mean, that was my favorite one I wrote in that book.
Oh, they're the top 3?
Yep. What's wrong, Laura? Just a little doll. Come to life. This one kind of tricked me up, and I had to talk to Lauren about it. It's White Tea, which is a lighthearted story, and I don't really do lighthearted when it comes to books. So I had to ponder, and I thought of the most recent book I read called Dark Hunter, or Hunted. Sorry, I'm not sure which way it was written. It says, we've been working on our novel called Hunted, so I'm not sure if I got them mixed up or not. But anyway, it's about a girl that's an angel born, which means that she's a human with angel essence in her that lets her have the ability to fight the paranormal in the world and protect humans from them. And you discover that she's actually a half angel, half demon. And at the end, she discovers who she is. She's breached herself. Not the really ending. And her, another angel born, a vampire, and a foul demon in the form of a cat are like, oh, we're gonna team up and fight crime, fight evil. So I guess that'd be lighthearted because it's like happy ending. Well, no, I thought it was pretty late ending in my opinion.
I like it. They like form their own crew, their own family, like in Medusa Files.
Yes and no.
I don't know. Here comes a rant.
Well, first off, the only one I'd actually see being a family would be her and the Bat Demon because of the fact they found each other when she was a kid and they grew up together.
Aww.
The vampire is only joining to get revenge, and the guy that joins her, called Jackson, is kind of one of those relationships where they start off being total strangers and end up being lovers.
Oh, God.
So, yeah.
I can see why you're not, like, super happy about it. Would you read it again?
No. It's a series. I know there's more in a series to read, but I don't think I have to read it again. I feel like my idea of a demon angel would replace it. Black tea is the next one, which I think this is tea Lauren will drink sometimes, right? Like Irish English breakfast. This one is a dark, exciting read. Oh man, too many to pick from.
Your entire library.
Oh, I mean, I tried to take the easier out and say Poden, since, let's face it, all his writings are dark. But I think instead I'll go with two books I've read that I might reread, which are Vampire D, which is a graphic novel about a Dumpio that was born between a human mother and Dracula, and he becomes a vampire hunter, does after some time, protect humans. And the other one is called Eric, which I'm trying to convince Lauren to try to read. You know it's pretty thick.
Something a pattern here. Here, all these long books.
But I like Eric because it's time makes me think of God of War. So he made a contract with a chaos demon to get power to vanquish his enemies, and is tricked into killing those he loves by accident. The rest of the story is him trying to get revenge against the demon and to free himself. Next tea is green tea, and that's my favorite tea, especially when you get jasmine green tea from restaurants. And the question for this one is a book you couldn't put down. And it's cute to me and Laura answer at the same time, which is Phantom by Susan Kay. Oh my gosh, you know, bawling the whole time I was reading it. I could not stop reading it. I just love how they explain Eric and showing his mental development and why he is the way he is towards his teen.
Yeah, I mean, even when they get to the part of the book where they show the opera house, and that's the part of the story you're already familiar with, she still kind of wrote it in a new way.
Right. And she made it seem less stalkerish with Christine. What? You're telling me we did not watch the movie and think the same thing?
No.
Well, she had to pick between a stalker and a dad thought she was a nutcase. Oblong tea is nuts. And the question for that is a book that taught you about different culture. And what first popped in my head was a manga series called That's Hollet. And it teaches you about the culture of Japan and their urban legends, as well as their take on magic and urban legends. And the other one, wow, this is all the way back from my childhood, was Madeline, which was about 12 little girls that were raised by none, and the book series taught you about different things that were done in Paris. Chai's Nuts, which is a good winter tea. I think Lauren likes it more than I do to the cinnamon bombs in them.
And you can add it to coffee.
So the question for that is a romantic or unique pairing in a story. And isn't it cool because I really do not give a crap about romance novels. Nor do I pay attention about the pairings that happen in novels either. Oh, and sure that muses Lauren, right?
You hear me laughing.
But I was thinking of a recent book I read, which was the Maddie for Hire. And it's interesting is that Maddie ends up being partnered with an elf that's acts and dressed from either 16th or 17th century. And the reason why they're partnered up is that he saves her life, and in that world, when your life is saved by an elf, they own part of your soul until the debts are paid.
Wow.
And then she joined it rid of all. And throughout the novel, they actually become friends. Thank God they do not become lovers at the end. But I thought neat parenting had a modern day spunky heroine with a very charming elf that like tries to be noble and a gentleman to her, and she's like, nope, not happening. The next tea is Chamomile. Yes. I was afraid I would butcher that one. And that's an easy read. And for me, that was the Lightning Thief series, also known as Percy Jackson, because I've read the entire series in 2 days.
And it's like, what, 13, 14 books?
Exactly.
Ooh.
They're short novels though, but the fact that they're written for middle school, they're easy reads for me because not a lot of mythology is used, and the mythology that is used is easily explained. So it's not like you have to stop and look at words or look for different meanings in the sentences.
I thought you were going to say it with mythology you already knew.
Well, that too. And I was going to be a smart aleck, and I was going to actually say A Midsummer's Night Dream by William Shakespeare. But I feel like Laura's smacking for that one.
How is that in any way an easy read?
For me, it was an easy read. And let's preface as nuts and, hey, we said earlier, it's a black tea. The one for this is a book that took place in London. And for me, 2 books popped in the head. And that is the Alex Rider series, because MI6 headquarters is in London. So that one's an easy connection. And the other one is my second favorite book series, is Sherlock Holmes. Because he lives on Baker Street. It's my favorite because it's a detective series that I grew up on. I started reading Sherlock Holmes when I was in elementary school, so I grew up with it. And I thought it was really neat that when me and Laura were in London, we actually got to see the museum created for him. And it was neat because, even though it was like super tiny, the curator wasn't offended or mad we were touching everything.
Happy ones, okay.
Exactly.
Do you have a favorite case of Sherlock's that comes out to you? You like them all?
Yeah. What was interesting though is that there actually was an event in the real world that made me think of Sherlock Holmes. And it was the case of the red-haired lead. Because this man that went to Sherlock with red hair and was questioning why he was hired to type up the encyclopedia every day, not knowing that it was a facade for these guys to get a tunnel from the bank to the office.
Wow.
And Lauren's telling me about a case where it actually happened, that someone had dug a cave, a tunnel between a bank and a building. And that's what popped in my head.
And book become real.
So, mint tea is nuts. And I'm not a big fan of this tea.
Ew.
Yeah, I think Lauren agrees with me. But what's funny is that the tea kind of correlates with the book in my head. The question for this one is a book that surprised you. And what popped in my head was a book all the way from middle school called I Once Was a Teenage Green Fairy.
Ooh, I remember reading this one.
And it surprised me is the fact I actually enjoyed it. Because the synopsis of the book is about a girl dealing with abuse and trying to find her stance in the world while also showing her interaction with the magic world. And, like, it seemed more like what Lauren would like because it seemed kind of cheesy. But somehow I still enjoyed it, and I actually read it all the way through, and it was actually a book I recommended Lauren to read. Like, it wasn't as cheesy as I feared it would be when I first started reading it.
I think the ending was.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of given.
I feel like, not now as much, but back then it seemed like almost every middle grade book had that and have a happily ever after, or a happy ending.
Yeah, no, that's so common today. Oh, they're middle schoolers. They have to have a happy ending. That was interesting. Definitely a trip down memory lane to nostalgia with some of these books. I thought it was really neat and nice of Lauren to trade this tag for me, so I had to be included.
Coffee.
No, tea. And I may do a connection video of this on the blind kitchen, going over the teas and what purposes they have in healing and why some people might drink them. And let me know what you guys think about questions and what books would fall into these categories, or have you read any of the books I mentioned above? If so, comment down below. Until next time, blessed be.